Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be creating the swipe card animation on Figma. So first thing first is to know that I want to create this on a mobile version design. So I'm just going to come in here and add in my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I'm going to crop the edges quickly. Oh sorry, section 1. I'm going to make the screen dark. So why am I putting this first? Because I want the designs I'm going to make to sit properly on top of this, and so I want to get the right measurement for the design. So I'm going to go back into frame and I'm going to draw a frame in here to show how I would want my design to sit on this properly. Let me change the feel of this to white so that it's just obvious to see. So if my design was sitting like this, I'm going to, it's not going to be a bad arrangement. So that is why I'm doing this measurement right now. I'm going to crop the edges to, I'm going to use 21. So this is the way, when I'm done with the design, this is how it's going to look like on the page. If you are not okay with this particular size, you can increase yours or reduce it, whatever you want. But right now, for the purpose of this lesson, this particular size works for me. So I'm just going to quickly take this outside. I'm going to name this our measure screen, or you can name it whatever you want to remember what this is for. And I'm going to just quickly put this aside so it doesn't distract us. Then we're going to go back to our frame over here. So this is frame 1 right now. I'm going to make a bunch of duplicates for this. I'm making about 5 copies, so I'm just going to keep pressing Ctrl D or Command D if you're using a Mac. So here are my 5 frames. I'm going to click on this and go over to my plugins and add images with Unsplash plugin. So if you do not have Unsplash plugin, you're just type in Unsplash and it's going to bring in the plugin. So with this plugin, I'll just easily add my images to the frame. So my network was a bit slow, so it took a while to load. What you can choose any of these to get pictures from them, but I want to go with fashion. So I'll just type what I want and search for it. I'm going to have a bunch of fashion images that I can choose from. So let me start with this for this frame. Remember, when you want it, whatever frame you want to add the image to, it's supposed to be clicked on and highlighted like this. So I'm just going to add this. Then I'll go to the next frame and remember to click on it. Then I'll go to another image and add this. Then I'll go to frame 3. Basically do the same for all 5 frames. So now that we've added all of the images to our frames, just like this, I'm just going to take this plugin off. So here we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all this frame from frame 1 to frame 5, and I'm going to group them. Now you could either drag like this to select all of them, just like this. I'm just holding on my left click and dragging on my mouse. Or if you cannot do that, you just simply click on frame 1, hold on shift. While your hand is still on shift, click on frame 2, click on frame 3, up to frame 5, just like this. And you could either use Ctrl G to group, or you right click and click on group selection, or use the shortcut Ctrl G or Command G if you're using a MacBook. So I'm going to just group the selection, and now we have a group. So I'm going to hover on it, hold on. I'm going to just hover on it like this on this particular point, then I drag them holding on my left click. Sorry, I'm supposed to make my screen smaller, but I want you to see everything bold. Holding on my left click and just stack them on top of each other, just like this, and we have them all stacked up together. So now that we have them stacked up like this, I'm just going to bring our measure screen that we created from the beginning of the video. I'm going to look for it and just drag it in here, because we want to place this design on top of it. So we're going to get this as design and place it on top of it. I'm going to make sure that it's at the middle. I'm just going to click on this to place it at the middle. Now that this is done, they are now in one selection, so I'm just going to duplicate with Ctrl D and drag it aside so that there's enough space to see when we're prototyping. Now this particular image, I want to swipe it off, so I'm going to just click on it, and that particular image was frame 5, so I'm just going to double click on it. You could either come to the bottom here and rotate it like this, or you come to this angle point and you put in a particular angle so that it goes accordingly. So I have rotated it to this side, so I'm putting a specific number so that when I'm rotating the rest of them, they are seamless. I really like accuracy when it comes to my work. I want everything to follow a particular pattern, size and rotation in a case like this. So I'm going to hide this in here. I'm just holding on my right arrow key to just chuck it into my design, just like this. So this movement I'm making is what is going to be seen in my prototype. Just like this is going to go away like this. Now that that is done and a different image is showing here, I'm going to click on it again on this new screen and duplicate. You could take your time to start renaming them, but for now I think the images are just enough for me to see that they are a different frame. So I'm going to double click on this particular image and I want it to go the opposite direction, so I might just tweak it like this a little to get this minus, or you can put in your minus, but I'm just doing it for beginner sake. So you just tweak it to the side that you want it to, and we are going to put in our 23.29 in the negative direction like this, and I'll click OK. So it's going to the other side. So I'll just chuck it in my design. Now I'm holding the left arrow key to put it inside my design. That is why you see it moving gradually. I do not want to just drag it myself so that it doesn't lose the position that it's supposed to be in for accuracy purpose. So I'm going to repeat the same process. Click on this, duplicate, Ctrl D. Now I want this to go in the other direction, so not on the minus side, so 23.29, just like, oh sorry, I didn't click on the image. Just like this, the other direction, 23.29, and I'm going to take this in slowly like this with my right arrow key on my keyboard. So this is the last image, but I'm going to still duplicate, Ctrl D, and this particular last image, what motion do you want it to have as the last one before everything comes back together? So I'm going to double click. I want it to go the proper way, so I'm just going to do 23.29 without the minus, and I'm going to just drag it in a little. I don't want it to go all out before everything comes back in, so that it doesn't just leave only the black screen. So I'm just going to leave it like this because it's the last image. There's nothing on top of it or under it that I'm trying to reveal. So now I have done this for all of the frame. I'm just going to switch to prototype and link them together, and we'll have a beautiful animation already done. So from the first major screen, we're going to switch to prototype. I'm going to link from this to this, just like so. Then the prototype setting I'm going to be using is pretty straightforward. So we're going to use on drag, because since we're swiping, we want it to be on drag, not on tap, not while hovering, not after delay. So I'm going to use on drag. Then I'm going to leave this out at ease out. It's supposed to be at ease out, just like this. Then I'm going to change this to smart animate, then I'm going to change this to 600 milliseconds. And that is what we're going to replicate for the rest of the screens. Drag here, on drag, 600, ease out, smart animate. So we're just going to do this for all of the screens. So now for this last one, you have to decide what you want to do with it. Do you still want to drag it for it to get back to it, or you want it to, whenever it gets to this last one, it automatically moves to the first one? So that is what we use to determine what this our last prototype is going to be like. Do we want to drag it? But I think I'm going to prefer after delay. When we present it, if we have a different idea, then fine. But for now, I think I'm going to probably like after delay. I want it to go really fast, so maybe I should make it at 10 milliseconds or 1. Maybe 1 might be too fast, but let's leave it at 10. So now we're just going to present our design. So here is how it's going to look like on mobile. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and thank you again. Bye.